Hey, how you doing? Old man here. So this morning I got a message from a buddy of mine that wants to do a 120-mile bike ride in the next 2 weeks and asked me if I want to tag along. And I'm like, sure. I mean, I think that's fantastic. Love doing a long bike ride. The problem is the bike I have, my road bike, I've been riding it all summer, all spring, summer, then fall. I put about 4,000 miles on it, and it's really due for a comprehensive tune-up. New bar tape, new brake pads, new cables and housings, pretty much the works that I typically do in the fall before I head into the winter, so the bike's ready to go in the spring. So I got all the components, I ordered them online, they all showed up, and now what I want to do is start working on the bike, but my bike shop that I have in my basement is a mess. So I think we need to start working on that. So walking through my game room, gonna head into my workshop, and this is the bike shop section. And you can see that, the countertop, the workspace is completely jammed up with previous projects that I've been working on over the summer. And of course, you all know that as soon as you start working on a project and you finish it, outside repairing something, you're tired, you're kind of done with the project, and you just leave the junk on the countertop. You never finish by cleaning up after yourself. And that's what I got here. I got a mess here on my workshop, and it's hard to service anything. It's hard to work on anything because the workspace is just a mess. So today we're going to clean this workshop. We're going to reorganize this, and we're going to put things back to where they belong, I hope. Okay, so as they say, the first thing you do is you start with a brew. So let's take a sip of the coffee and dive in. Hey, and it looks like I'll be joined with my little buddy today. Hey, Nash. Say hi to everybody. You good boy. Nothing like a helper. So that's pretty much done. That's well overdue. I've been meaning to get to this for a couple of months now. It really was a mess. I'm just going to go through what I have here. So I put a couple drawers in, and in these drawers, I tend to keep, this one here's got tubes, a bunch of spare tubes for the different bikes I have, some spare bags, the seat bags, seat wedges. See, these are new tubes and ones I've patched. I typically patch a tube twice before I get rid of it. So there's some tubes in here in different different stages of being patched. The next drawer down, this has got all the old boxes and stuff that I have for my Garmin's, or I've got a Fly 6 and a Fly 12, the Wahoo systems. If there's anything I need to get repaired, or if warranty work, I have to send it back, I like to keep the original box. I also keep some CO2 cartridges in here. I typically pump up the tires, but on my gravel bike, I do run them tubeless, and I like to keep a CO2 available in case I got to seat the bead on the ride. And then in this cabinet, I've got a few boxes, and these boxes I typically keep, little bits and bobs and odds and ends, little pieces of the bike that I've taken off or replaced. Here's a box with some old pedals and some old sprockets and bearings and toe clips and things. And I hang on to these because they're not completely shot. They're great in a pinch, in case you need a quick spare, in case something breaks on a bike I'm riding and I need to just throw something on while I'm waiting for the new part to come in. And then over the years, I've just collected different tools to do the bike maintenance, and I typically get them when I need to do a particular maintenance. I've got the bearing press tool here. I've got a chain whip, a pedal wrench, you know, all the different cone wrenches, of course the chain tool for the quick release, the you know, the Torx bits and the Allen wrench. I got the 5 Newton-meter torque wrench for the stem. Some mini screwdrivers are always nice to have. I do have a torque wrench with some sockets on there to torque the other bits and pieces. I always keep a spare chain. So when I put that chain on the bike, I'll buy a new chain. So I always have a spare on hand. Same with brake pads. I keep a series of brake pads. These are the disc brake pads. And I do have caliper brake pads as well for my road bike. Gloves, a spare tire. I buy them in sets. So I put a tire on a couple weeks ago, and that's another spare. I do have sealant I keep. There are some tools that I've built over the years. I've relaced a few wheels with spokes, so that's a dishing tool I made. A really simple tool to make. I've also made, and it's up here in the junk pile, I've also made a truing stand. Years ago I made a truing stand. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but this thing works great. It's fantastic. I've trued all my wheels on it. That tool is about 20 years old. And it, like I said, it works fantastic over the years. Over here in the corner, a bunch of cleaning stuff. Whenever I take time to do a bike service, I always clean the bike. Take it from top to bottom, I clean it. I inspect the bearings. You know, you would do that with a set of picks, right? These are always nice to have, the different picks and different styles that you can use to get the seals out. These picks are also very good for cleaning debris out of your brake shoes. You know, fantastic. I got this quick little portable case. I take this with me when I go on road rides or any races I'm involved in. I just keep, for back of the car maintenance, basically. Bunch of little pieces in here, all spare parts. I got a spare derailleur hanger in there. Patches, patch kits, things like that, pedal extenders. And then in the bottom part, you can put some larger pieces in here. You know, when I redo the cables and the cables housings, all the bits and pieces are in here to crimp on the ends. There's some spare bearings in here. So it's a nice little case to have. And it keeps things organized, where these little bits and pieces, they're going to be hard to put on the rack unless I have like a little small shelving system. But I like them in the case. I can grab it and go. If I got to go over to a friend's house and help him work on his bike, I just grab the case and off we go. I like to keep a towel, an old towel. In this one here, I keep folding it around to different sections that are clean. But when you take a chain off that hasn't completely worn yet, so I replace my chains at 75% wear, or they call it stretch, but it's actually wear. But if it's not at that point yet, I'll clean the chain, and I'll do a comprehensive cleaning. When it's on the bike, I use this Park Tool chain cleaner. This works really well. And I'll do that before I take it off so I don't get my hands completely dirty. And in that, I use a solvent. I put a solvent mix with a little water, helps get the grease out of it. But then I put it on the towel, I wipe it all down, I spray it with WD-40 to keep, to help get some more of the grease and dirt out of it. Then I do, then I clean it with a degreaser, and then it goes back on the bike. It almost looks brand new when it's done. But yeah, that's a quick tour of the shop. Looks really nice. I do have a bike stand over here. I bought the Park Tool bike stand that goes into a vise, right, or a wall mount or a surface mount. You can see the plate there. And what I've done, I've actually got a piece of conduit, and I made a base for it. So this can freestand, or I can clamp it into a vise like I have now to hold it. But this is a nice little bike stand. I recommend getting one of these, or some sort of a stand to hold your bike. But there you go. That's the home bike shop. Thanks. Hey, so thanks for watching. If you like these videos, feel free to subscribe and like. All right, thanks a lot. See you next time.